Humans can teach their bodies to do amazing things, like memorize the order of 59 packs of playing cards, yes, that actually happened, or run 100 meters in less than 10 seconds. But what about the things your body does by accident? These are the things you never celebrate. These are the things that sometimes embarrass you, the things you don't want to talk about, but are totally natural. Let's lift the lid on your body's automatic activities. Here's our top 10 things your body does but you can't control.
Amazing!
Number 10. Forgetting why you walked into a room. This is something we rarely talk about, but we all do it. No, not that. I'm talking about walking into a room and then totally forgetting about the purpose of your journey. The reason for this phenomenon? Apparently, it all comes down to the doorway, and hence has become known as the doorway effect. Scientists at the University of Notre Dame found that people were 3 times more likely to forget a piece of information if they had to walk through a doorway before remembering it. What happens is your brain sees a doorway as a boundary. In other words, what happens before the doorway can stay there. This is your brain in Vegas, and the first entry in our top 10. Number 9. Gleeking. No, this isn't bursting into song and dance at any opportunity. It's when you accidentally shoot a gush of saliva from under your tongue, like a snake spitting. Gleeking as a word has been around since the 1500s, and even crops up in Shakespeare's Henry V. It happens when saliva builds up in your mouth, maybe because you've eaten something sour. When you yawn, you may accidentally squeeze the salivary gland under your tongue, and whoosh, there it goes. As it's one of the grosser things your body does without knowing, it definitely deserves a spot in this video. Number 8. Blushing. We've all been there. You're in a difficult situation and your cheeks go a dark shade of red, showing the world that you're not okay. Is it embarrassment, anger, or just your body's way of handling pressure? Charles Darwin called blushing the most peculiar of human expressions, and the reason for it is still unknown to this day. Some scientists believe it developed as a way of submitting to more dominant people in society. Others believe it's an internal reaction to anger, or a way for people to find out if someone is lying. Either way, there may be a silver lining for those who blush. A team of Dutch psychologists tested 130 undergraduate students at the University of Groningen and discovered that people are more likely to forgive and view favourably someone who has committed an embarrassing act if he or she is visibly blushing. Don't think this is a get out of jail free card though. It's unlikely to work all the time. Number 7. Hypnagogic jerk. This is the technical definition for something you've most likely wondered about in the past. It refers to when you shudder and twitch as you drift off to sleep. Sometimes you jolt so violently, it causes you to wake up. It can be pretty unsettling, especially if you're watching someone else do it. Hypnagogic means the period of time when you're falling asleep, by the way. Scientists aren't 100% sure why these jerks happen, but there are a lot of theories. Some believe it's caused by stress or an unhealthy lifestyle. Another interesting one is that your primate brain mistakes falling asleep for falling out of a tree, so jerks you awake to take action. Studies claim that 70% of people experience hypnagogic jerks when they fall asleep. Have you ever noticed yourself doing this? Number 6. Yawning. Yawning. Just say the word and it sets me off. It's one of those things we all do, but we hate to be caught doing it. We also hate it when other people yawn in front of us. But why do you yawn? Scientists used to believe it was to take more oxygen into your lungs and to keep your body awake and alert. They now believe that yawning is your body's way of cooling down the brain. Yawning brings in a burst of cold air, which is carried to the brain, pushing out excess heat. That's why you feel more alert when you yawn. Why is yawning contagious though? That we don't know. Number 5. Being ticklish. If you're a ticklish person, you're probably twitching just thinking about it. So why do we do it? Evolutionary biologists and neuroscientists believe that we laugh when we are tickled because the part of the brain that tells us to laugh when we experience a light touch is also the same part that tells us to expect a painful sensation. There are numerous hypotheses attempting to explain this. In the late 90s, a scientist called Christine Harris did a lot of ticklish experiments and came up with one idea. Tickling evolved to help children develop combat skills. When you tickle a child, they'll try to run away, teaching them how to evade an attacker as painlessly as possible. Meanwhile, they're laughing and smiling, so you can just carry on doing it, reinforcing the practice. So keep tickling kids. It teaches them self-defense, apparently. Number 4. Hiccups. We all get the hiccups from time to time, although hopefully not like Charles Osborne from Iowa, who hiccuped for 68 years, making the Guinness Book of Records. Again, no one knows why you hiccup, and I'm sure if they did, Charles might want to know. Some scientists believe it evolved as a way for babies to expel air from their stomachs, so they could take on more milk. Another study in 2012 argued hiccuping started even earlier with our amphibian ancestors. Amphibians use a technique similar to hiccuping to push water over their gills. Among the crazy techniques to try and get rid of them, no one knows how you get rid of hiccups either. Do you know a way? Number 3. Shivers down the spine. It happens to all of us. You're in a dangerous or stressful situation and you feel a cold chill go down the length of your spine. Your hair may stand on end and you may also get goosebumps. This happens because in times of intense pressure, your brain releases a burst of adrenaline to help the brain deal with the situation. This is partly why many people love being scared shitless. The nutcases. However, music can also make you feel shivers down the spine. This is because when you hear a piece of music that affects you emotionally, your brain is flooded with dopamine, the same chemical that is released by sex and good food. Number 2. Placebo effect. You're sick. The doctor gives you a pill and tells you you'll be fine. You get better. However, you find out later that the pill had no medication in it. It was just sugar. What's happened? That, my friend, is the placebo effect. You can trick yourself into getting better. In 2010, a survey showed that 56% of doctors had prescribed placebos to their patients. So why does this work? One theory is that we really want to show our doctor how great we are, so our unconscious mind suppresses any sickness we may have. People have also used the placebo effect to sleep better, lose weight, and boost their productivity. The placebo effect is a real-world demonstration of your brain's awesome power. Number 1. Dreaming. Where would we be without dreams? Our nights would be much duller, and songwriters would struggle for things to write about. But what do we know about dreaming? Well, we know you dream during the rapid eye movement, known as REM, section of your sleep. REM usually happens about 70 minutes after you fall asleep, and lasts 20 to 30 minutes. Typically, you go through REM sleep 3 or 4 times during a normal night's sleep. Your brain is active, and your eyes, guess what, move rapidly. Apart from that, we actually don't know that much. People have tried to analyse dreams since time began, but still we don't know why we see a series of images and situations when we sleep. Sigmund Freud thought dreams were our unconscious desires playing themselves out. Some experts believe it's our brain tidying itself up and emptying itself of useless thoughts. Then there are also lucid dreams, where you're aware that you're dreaming and can control your dreams. There are even studies of monitored patients who were rigged up to EEGs and observed to be in deep sleep, despite being able to signal to the scientists that they were awake with a twitch of their eyelid. If you'd really like to have a lucid dream, because who wouldn't, just imagine what you could do, then there are several suggested approaches. Unfortunately though, the science behind this remains inconclusive. So there we are, 10 automatic bodily functions that have made us blush, laugh, dream, and more. Do you agree with any of the explanations behind these uncontrollable habits? Leave a comment to let us know. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to Be Amazed.